Hi, this is Eric at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and this is Florida Natural Farming. Today I'm going to look at our 2024 mango crop that's started up. We have bloom on our mangoes. I'm going to talk about ways to maximize fruit production with natural farming. I'm also going to talk about plastic pollution and industrial pollutants that they use to combat fungicides in mangoes like copper and stuff like that. So this is what we use for fertility. It's the manure and the compost we make from our miniature zebu cattle. So pretty much in Florida, all you have to do is add cow manure to your soil and protect the soil from disturbance and keep it covered. Nature will cover it for you if you leave it alone with what is best for the soil. But a monocrop of perennial peanut or anything is better than lawn. When I tried to watch a video recently on hi Romy, he's gonna be a year old in a month. Fruit tree paradise in Florida, and it showed like a monocrop of mangoes that didn't look very healthy, and a lawn and a human. That's all they had. I didn't see or hear any birds. I didn't see any insects. And I know that with the lawn you have compaction, and I know that if you just have a lawn and you're growing mangoes, they're using salt-based fertilizers. There's no way you could be organic with that type of management practice in Florida. We used to be biodynamic certified and organic certified, and we aren't anymore. I do so many videos and talk about how we grow and how we focus on soil health. And we use our miniature zebus for fertility, and I holistically raise them, and they are on rotationally grazed pasture. We don't use any mineral supplements, and we don't provide them with any grains or anything. They only eat grass. So we focus on fungally dominant soil, and as you can see by our soil that it is definitely fungally dominant. It's just everywhere it's bare soil, it gets covered in mycelium, and it's everywhere. And the way you get that is by non-disturbance of the soil and applying small amounts of low nitrogen fertilizers, natural fertilizers. In our case, it's the miniature zebu holistically grown cattle. Excuse me, I'll get the hiccups. I'm working my way over towards mangoes, but I had to tie up my little bull while I make a video. It was kind of wild this morning. It's a little cool. The weather's been extremely hot for winter, and stuff seems to be growing really well. My aroids are looking swell. Rare tropical plants that I grow, and my little meringues and my bread nuts and my durians and my keppel trees and my ultra tropicals like this philodendron luxurians are all doing really good in the ground. And the anthuriums especially seem to be doing well in the ground. Here's a little bread nut tree. It's the same as a breadfruit, but they use the nut rather than the fruit. And here's a little meringue seedling. I love it. This is a queen anthurium. I just want to check. It looks like this new leaf coming out, and then that's another new leaf coming out. This is philodendron maximum. I have philodendron yopii. I want this tree to be covered in my rare aroids. like a living wall, only a tree. So I've been planting them all around there. We got the Philodendron melanochrysum, we got the Philodendron sharonii, mascara, I got Philodendron heterocraspedon, I got Philodendron patriciae, I got Anthurium veitchii, I got Anthurium viterifolium, I got Anthurium pseudospectabile I got to plant in the ground. And then the Anthurium regalis that I just recently put in the ground, they're looking much better since I put them in the ground. They just were not happy in the pots. And now I don't have to worry about watering them. And then I got my Monstera burley marks flame, I got my Philodendron spiritus sancti, I got some Philodendron tenue, and I got a Philodendron heterocraspedon there. Got this Philodendron gigas that the creatures got. Got the Philodendron gloriosum that I'm going to use as ground cover to displace all the grass, to to make it look more like a garden rather than a wild space. But I do leave the weeds in there until the other plants can overtake it. My cacao is looking great. The fruit is coming along. We got a lot of fruit on this tree. It's really surprising that there is this much fruit on it, of all varying sizes. And it's pretty much covered on this tree throughout it. And it's a little tiny tree, seed-grown tree. We dry farm everything here. So our mangoes, we've never, ever, ever watered. And when I plant trees, I don't water them in. I just put them in the ground into this, and after I remove the soil and plant them. But I did not do that when I planted the mangoes because I hadn't evolved in my understanding of how to grow naturally to that point. And so, but the mangoes, they're much like the citrus here, probably one of the easiest plants to grow in Florida for fruit production. But we've been growing mangoes here continuously in Florida for 13 years naturally. And here's some more fungi. It's just pretty much everywhere. That's how we know we have a fungally dominant soil. It's just really amazing. And we've been dry farming them continuously this way. And what I found is if you don't provide an input, a type of natural fertilizer, you're not going to get fruit production. You get a little bit, but if I apply my miniature zebu manure or compost or something comparable, definitely the miniature zebu manure, you're going to get so much production that it's like mind-boggling, to be honest with you. And you don't have to spray, you don't have to water, you don't have to fertilize all the time. You apply it once a year and you're done. And you walk away and you don't have to do anything. So we still have a little bit of egg fruit on this tree. So good, this egg fruit. I've been eating it and it's just been incredible. Delicious egg fruit. So we have about 250 grafted mango trees that produce, and the oldest mango trees here are 6 years old. We have some 12-year-old mango trees at our other property where I experiment dry farming without applying inputs, and they've only produced one crop one time, and it was the one time that I applied tiny amounts of biodynamic compost fertilizer. So here's some mangoes. I have a whole row of mangoes down the driveway, and they produce very well. And the neighbors sprayed glyphosate on that end 2 years ago, and those mangoes just stopped producing fruit for a whole year. And This is a Namdok Mai mango, and this is a Namdok Mai mango, and they produce 3 crops a year. This tree in particular produces big crops, and this tree is not fruiting yet. I have to shear it like a hedge because it is along the driveway, and probably not the best place to plant a tree, but I wanted it to be a windbreak and a food source. And so these are mangoes. This is a Malika mango. Some people have not liked Malika mangoes, but I found it to be one of the best mangoes we produce here. It's delicious. It can compete with all the top tier mangoes from Zill. Definitely. I guess you've had to pick it right. And I firmly believe in how you grow definitely alters the flavor. So you notice we don't remove any of these things, and you can hear all the birds around here. And there's definitely a lot of raccoons and possums and rats, of course. And because they live, all the life lives when you have life for them to live in. So all these plants, so they can hide and get around. It's just not a monocrop. And these weeds protect the little mangoes when they're hanging down from the possums and raccoons from getting them, and the birds definitely. This is a Floregon mango. This is a Floregon mango. That's a Floregon mango. Floregon mangoes I like. They're consistently good, but they definitely are not flavor bombs. They're nice and zero fiber, delicious mangoes though, definitely. Here's a Super Julie tree. So I experimented with some of these trees to see what would happen, because this tree is going to be, so our youngest trees are all 4 years old and are going to be 4 years old in January, December and January. And it's starting to bloom, and it's just now starting to swell and break, start bud formation, flower formation. This particular tree, we have little mangoes on some of our trees. So when I applied the Zebu manure in a daily input, I apply it every day year round in small amounts. So I clean out the barn, I lock my zebus in at night, I give them grass hay, coastal Bermuda grass hay as bedding. They eat a little bit, they pee a little bit on it, they spit on it, and they poop on it. And then I clean it out and I drop it around trees. So I'm just finishing up my mangoes, because you have to apply manures 120 days before you harvest fruit. So I wanted to get all my manure on my mangoes by beginning of December, especially since they started flowering in November. So we have trees that produce 3 distinct crops here for us per year. And that's a Super Julie tree. I don't know if I said it. I see it has lots of flower formation on this side. That's good. And this is a sugarloaf mango tree that it is starting. Kind of odd that they're all not doing it at the same time this year. So you have to apply it 120 days in advance, and I got all the manure around these mangoes that are flowering right now more than 6 months before they started blooming. So definitely 150 days as well, starting to bloom. This is a buttercream mango. This is a 4-year-old tree in this month probably, and never been watered. These are edible mushrooms that the rabbits eat. I know they're edible because they eat them. You can see the tops are gone off a couple of them. But there's a ton, there's so many of them here. And that's our Zebu manure. This was the daily input I applied 6 months ago. And it basically is just humus. So if you break up this and rehydrate it, you can do cuttings of tropical fruit trees or grow seeds directly in it. So this buttercream mango is producing flowers, quite a few. It's gonna give me a big bloom. This is the earliest our mangoes have ever bloomed. And buttercream was our latest mango we had. We had a buttercream fruit from a third crop from one tree that was ripe in October. Of course, I wanted to wait for peak time, and the creatures got it. That's the problem. That's why I have to pick some of most of our mangoes early. Otherwise, the good ones, the creatures will get. And so we had a buttercream was our latest mango. I'm not sure what mango this is, but I don't see it blooming yet. And this is a coconut cream mango that is not blooming either, and it doesn't even appear close. So not everything is blooming. I have a couple of mangoes back here that are blooming. So buttercream had its last fruit in October, and I walked by there the other day, and it's blooming. So it started blooming again in November. So basically, it's a year-round producing tree, and I don't know of anybody that's ever discussed that. So this is a Venus mango, and Venus is a very good mango, super huge, and this tree is doing a good bloom, and it's just starting up. That was the first bloom I saw on this tree. So buttercream, all this stuff that they don't talk about, that is possible if you focus on the soil health, the health of the soil, and use natural healthy input. So here's a fruit punch mango, and it's got little fruit on it, and it's got major bloom going on, as you can see. Fruit punch is a delicious mango. I thought this was going to be all male flowers, but it's not. There's our little bull acting tough. He's 32 inches tall. Hi, Wally. I got your little baby. I'll bring him back. Oh, it's okay. They're really amazing little creatures. Very gentle and non-threatening. He tries to put on a good show like he's gonna get you, but he doesn't. So I got inspired because I looked at TFF, and they had all these recommendations on what to do with mangoes. And you know, the one of the main reasons that I was run off of TFF is because I started complaining about the toxic effects of copper sprays on aquatic life, because nutrient pollution is the major cause of most problems and death of our aquatic life, and our corals, and our manatees, and our seagrass, and our clams that were in the Indian River Lagoon. And copper kills aquatic life, and you don't have to spray it. And they've shown that copper is somehow related to causing Alzheimer's. And when you're spraying it on your fruit continuously, your mango fruit, you're going to be consuming quite a bit of copper, and you don't have to do it. I know from last year that some of our mangoes were covered, that fruit punch was covered in powdery mildew last year. Why it is, this is a honey kiss mango. Why it isn't this year, but it was covered in powdery mildew. I did the February 20th video, and it showed it, and then I did the March mango fruit video, and it showed the fruit, and then I showed it again in May, the mangoes, and it did not affect fruit production. This is a peach cobbler mango, and I don't see it flowering yet. I want to go to the other side and look at the other ones first. So we don't spray. Like I said, we only have to do one thing. This is it. We apply the manure one time a year to the mangoes. This is that buttercream, and it is definitely blooming. And that's all we have to do. We don't have to worry about water. We don't have to worry about spraying. We don't have to worry about spraying sulfur. We don't have to worry about giving 0050. We don't have to worry about giving micronutrients. So it's also the pollution from the micronutrients that are in the micronutrients. Micronutrient fertilizers have been shown to be have high concentration of heavy metals, lead and cadmium and arsenic and copper. And when you're using foliar spray bottles that are plastic, that that you use the water from your hose, you're also introducing microplastic particles with your foliar sprays, and microplastic particles collect heavy metals, and microplastics wind up inside your fruit and you consume them. So the microplastics that are in your fruit are collecting not only heavy metals, but they're also have been shown to collect pesticides. So it's just everything is a problem. All this stuff that they have been showing to do pretty much is all pollution, and it's unnecessary in Florida. Florida is so easy to grow that unless you're taking the advice of the old advice, then you shouldn't have a problem. So this is a Venus mango, and it has lots of fruit on it. Lots of little fruits, lots of flowers. And it's always been a huge producer. I see lots and lots of fruit up here on this tree. Yep. So it's just really scary to think of what we've done to our agricultural soils in the US, and probably 20 million acres of agriculture soils are polluted from the use of industrial fertilizers because they're made from sewage sludge or industrial steel mills, which are a source of heavy metals and forever chemicals. And sure, they may have removed they may have removed, look at these roses, they're gorgeous. It's an antique tea noisette rose. It smells so good. I don't know the name of it. It's a big climbing rose. It doesn't have any thorns on it. So they may have removed the forever chemical PFASs, but there's all the other, the Gen X chemicals. So just because they removed the PBA and the PFASs that have been shown to cause cancer and neurological problems and endocrine disruptors, and put synthetic estrogens into your body and are feminizing aquatic life and probably human life. Who knows? It must. They just change the name, or they change one chemical and just make a new formula, which in most cases it becomes more toxic. So they aren't removing them, they are just confusing us. So this is a fruit punch mango, and it has just started blooming well, and it's looking good. I like fruit punch. I don't see any fruit on it yet, but it's really just now starting. This is a pineapple pleasure mango, which I love. Pineapple pleasure, boy, a football-sized fruit, right? Delicious football-sized fruit, unlike Lancetilla, which is not one of my favorites. So this is a sugarloaf mango, and it just is fruiting or flowering, just starting up, and we'll see what it does. Look at this, sapodilla is covered. This is a Hasia sapodilla. So here's a big sweet tart mango. I thought sweet tart mangoes were late season. We don't follow those guidelines. They seem to do what they want, especially if they're producing multiple crops a year. And it's just now starting up with a bloom. This particular tree has always produced what has been like the most delicious fruit on the farm of any tree. Unfortunately, it's very close to our septic, like not very close, but like 100 feet away, and probably is not a good, I'm not going to sell that fruit to the public. The jackfruit's doing well. So the forever chemicals are in the septics, and most houses in, look at this asparagus. Wow, I just saw that. So this is another Venus mango, and I do not see it fruiting. This is a diamond mango, and diamond mango has produced 3 crops for us. And I prefer diamond mango to pickering, but these are dry farm mangoes. They do not taste like people that are using water and using chemicals and using copper to spray their trees. And it's totally unnecessary if you focus on soil health. This is my vegetable garden. Look at this. I did it, and I really haven't picked anything out of here. I let these radishes go to seed, but they're like huge. Wow. But I was looking at this asparagus, all dry farmed. I dry farm everything. I like to experiment with the vegetable garden, and I wanted to finish the vegetable garden in here. I guess I still could because it's not that late in the year. But after I found out about all the PFAs and the septic being right here, I thought, well, maybe not. That's not the best place for my vegetable garden, because new septics are done in plastic, or in the plastic tubes that they use for the leach field. All leach forever chemicals, and plastic absorbs forever chemicals, so they're like a source of forever chemicals. Even though everything we consume and all our cleaners are not toxic, just consuming organic food has been shown to be high in copper, like potatoes and grapes and, is it tomatoes? Anyway, I'll do a link to it in the reference section. Here's another Silas Wood sapodilla. There's an M4 mango. So this mango, diamond, and sweet tart, I can't really sell the fruit on them, but I have duplicates of all those trees. So those vegetables have been shown to be high in copper, and copper, one of the first things you notice is stomach pain and stomach issues from consuming copper fungicides, basically. And that's why we don't buy, there's more mushrooms growing in the, you could see the rabbits. The rabbits are eating these. These fungi, these mushrooms. Nurseries that sell mango fruit, and they don't have rules, or they don't tell you when they sprayed last. I'm sure they don't pay attention to it. And we have all these rules to be organic, or to grow naturally. We're not organic certified, but there's still rules on using manure, which I stated earlier, 120 days. You have to wait before you can sell the manure, but manure and E. coli is a problem, is a symptom of management practice, out of balance management. So when you have when you allow fungus, pathogenic fungi, and plant beneficial fungi to coexist, the plant can create a immune response because of that. It's the same way we get a cold and then have a ability to combat the cold the next season if it comes back. It's the same reason why we give shots to build the immunity from the COVID bacteria, or virus rather, and your body builds an immune system to it. So if you always have a plant that's protected, that's growing in a sterile growing medium, that doesn't have the biology in the soil to elicit an immune response through the production of phytochemicals, then you're never going to be able to create a food that's nutrient dense and is going to elicit an immune response in you if you're just consuming copper and heavy metals and microplastics. And so this is a big cashew tree. With your farm management. And this cashew tree has produced so much fruit. I think we have about 200 seedlings, and it's starting to flower. Come on, phone, behave. Right here. There. And cashew juice is one of the amazing things, and it's all dry farmed, and this has never been a crop for Florida, which I don't really understand why, because it's so easy and you don't have to do anything, and it's a super magnesium accumulator. So all these plants that grow and coexist with the mangoes, like the jackfruit and the weeds and the bidens and the citrus and I see flowers up there. Oh, Wally. There's flowers on the cashew. They borrow nutrients and they don't compete with each other. What they do is they create, it's a mutualistic, beneficial arrangement that when one plant has something that the other plant needs, it's provided with the help of the soil microorganism, the fungi. So they're able to distribute like magnesium or potassium or bacteria that's needed to elicit a immune response or a nutrient deficiency. I don't know. They've kind of figured it all out, but it seems like people, especially they say men, are slower to change. Here's a little cashew seedling, which doesn't surprise me because they're the ones that usually grow the tropical fruit. And I noticed the tropical fruit growers in Florida, the older male people are less likely to believe that this type of system works than female or younger people. Thankfully, the youth gets it, and they can see that we've been poisoning everything with our industrial farm practices. This is a lemon zest mango that produced 3 crops of mangoes for us. You can go to the September. This is another diamond mango. Through this area, we did have some mangoes that froze when it was 31 degrees, but only 20 trees out of 275 grafted trees got it. And so this one didn't get it, but this one got it. That one didn't get it, but this one get it. This one got it, but that one didn't get it. This one got it, but they're coming back, and most of them are above the graft. There's my little miniature zebu, Pepsi, Romy's mother. She's pregnant again. Hi, Pepsi. This is my little girl. Oh, you're so beautiful. I love you. She's the sweetest cow in the world. I love her. Bogle Farms Uma. So this is cotton candy mango, and I don't see it flowering right now. Hi, you guys. There's the bull. He got mad at me because I tied Romy up to put him on his halter and walked him through the pen, and he didn't like that. So he's like trying to act real tough. They just look at him like he's crazy. He never tries to hurt you, thank God. It's cotton candy mango. This is a coconut cream mango. This is a cotton candy mango. So this is a sweet tart mango. And I see it's trying to start to flower. Some of the mangoes back here have started to flower. This is the buttercream that produced 3 crops for us, our latest mango. And look at how little this tree is, and it's growing adjacent to this oak tree. And I almost cut down the oak tree, and I'm so glad I didn't, because I believe that the reduced hours of sunlight that it provided, and it was so hot last summer, enabled this tree to bloom and set fruit 3 distinct crops. So we got a crop in June, then we got a crop in like July, and then we got a crop in September, late July, and then in September. And small crop, it's not that big of a tree. It was 3 years old when it did that. So it is flowering, and it had fruit on it in October. So it's pretty much flowers and fruits year round, the buttercream. And that buttercream, this particular buttercream, the second crop cross-pollinated with this sweet tart tree, and the fruit tasted like a cross between buttercream and the size of buttercream with the texture of buttercream and the flavor of sweet tart. So I planted all those seeds, and it was incredible. This is another sweet tart tree. These are just 4 years old this month, these trees. Sweet tart. I could see the sweet tarts getting ready to set bloom. Still got a little tiny Adamoya fruit on my tree here, but it's lost its leaves for the winter. This is a sweet tart, and I can see it starting to bloom. So our trees look very healthy. I mean, don't they? I mean, they look just really healthy, and we don't get affected by powdery mildew. The stuff that other people have issues with is not an issue here, and it never has been. It doesn't cause the fruit to abort, and yes, you might get some spots on your fruit, but I am much happier finding mangoes with some spots on it than seeing totally clean fruit consistently throughout everything. It just means that I'm going to be consuming copper. And so I don't buy or eat other people's mangoes unless I know where they come from. That's a seedling mango I planted. There's a jackfruit tree. This is the majority of our mangoes, and I'm planting all seeds back here. So I direct sowed like 300 plus. This is a fruit punch mango, and it is starting to swell. 300 plus citrus, and I planted more than 200 imbi fruit seeds, and I planted a bunch of achachiro back here, and I planted mangoes, which that's one of them, and I planted cashews, all seeds. I'm going to do this all intercropped with seed-grown plants back here. There's a little cashew. And there's a sweet fruit punch mango. Here's a fruit punch mango. There's my daily manure. That's about what it looked like when I throw it on there. You got to make sure you don't get it near the trunk of the tree. But like this is a fruit punch mango. There's a little seedling mango I see right here. There's a big cashew seedling from last year. It's gotten quite big. It's right near this is a fruit punch mango that's swelling. That's a fruit punch mango. That's a fruit punch mango. This is a Carrie Mango. I like Carrie. I'd rather have orange sherbet, but I like Carrie. It's got nice texture, but the flavor is better, or it's a different flavor than Floregon, but it's kind of not a big flavor bomb to me. It's good, but it's not my favorite. Kezar, I think, was my top mango from India. This is Little Gem. I like Little Gem. I gave it a big pile of manure there. That's 1 day's worth. I finished up back here a while ago. I just wanted to get all my mangoes with a load that I could, daily manure, so that I wouldn't have any trouble selling fruit to the public. Because I like to follow all the laws and rules for food safety. This is a seedling mango. It's looking good. These are all cotton candies through here, and this one froze, but that one didn't freeze, and that one froze, but the one back there didn't freeze. This one didn't freeze, and this one didn't freeze. And I wasn't too sold on cotton candy until the late season cotton candy came in, and I really liked them. So I'm glad we have so many cotton candy trees. That's what this is. I don't see any bloom on it yet, but doesn't mean it's not going to. One of my all-time favorites is ice cream mango, and that's what this tree is. Ice cream mango produces multiple crops for us a year, so three distinct crops per year. And there's her manure, and I don't see any sign of anything going on, but it's getting to be a big tree. There's another ice cream mango. This tree got damaged by the freeze, but it didn't hurt the tree. This was it. I had to make sure that this didn't get on the tree, but it's healing itself. There's a pina colada mango. Tiny little tree, ice cream. There's a big Valencia Pride. So this is a Carrie tree, and it has got a lot of flower on it. And Carrie tree sends out a lot of male flowers for us. But I see that maybe this year is going to be different, because I do see some little fruitlets set on here, right here. And definitely right here I see a lot. Yep. But it's got a lot of bloom started on it. And the other side has a lot, but it's definitely getting ready to do a big bloom. It's so nice to have such early mangoes. So we should have mangoes in March. This is a Coggeshall mango, not one of my favorite mangoes. I like the flavor, but I hate the texture. It's just not smooth enough for me. I don't like stuff in my teeth. And here's an ice cream mango. There's another Carrie Mango blooming. There's a Carrie Mango blooming. Maybe this year will be a good Carrie Mango season. So probably my all-time least favorite mango is Lancettia. And I don't know, they're repulsive to me. Sorry, tree. I like you. I think the fruit is gorgeous, but in fact, I didn't even give it any manure. That's what I thought of that tree. Poor tree, I hope it doesn't suffer from my neglect. The lemon zest mango, a lot of people think that that's their favorite mango, but I think the lemon zest mango is mediocre. It's a lot like a Floregon or maybe a Valkyrie is a better description. Not the same flavor, but about the same flavor profile. You know, it's just not intense enough for me, like Sweet Tart. And plus, it's a horrible producer. Not as... It's just one tree did good for us, but that tree, this tree in particular, just doesn't. And it's not that it gets powdery mildew, it's just a bad producer. So this is a sweet tart mango. This tree always produces very well. And this is a fruit punch mango. One of my favorite mangoes of Zill's is peach cobbler, and this tree was covered in fruit this past year. You could look at my monthly farm update from June, and I clearly show this. I dated all my 2023 videos except for one, a recent one. I think it was the December 1st video this year. I just didn't have enough space. I ended up putting it in the description, but I do put dates on all my 2023 videos. All of them, maybe not all of them, but on my monthly farm updates I did. Recently I started putting them on all of them. There's a little mango seedling. It's got new leaves on it. Looks very good. I got all, this is where I planted all the seeds in this, all this stuff. I put it right in this stuff. I plant stuff right in this. I direct sow seeds directly in this. Not all of them take, some of them get eaten, but we are a seed source of everything so that we grow pretty much. So I have an unlimited supply of seeds that I can use to experiment. This is a pickering mango. I like pickering. I like diamond better. I think it's, I can eat the skin and everything on the diamond. I love the diamond mango. The flesh of the skin of the mangoes has a lot of phytonutrients in it. So finding a mango like diamond where I can eat the flesh on it, that's another thing. You don't want to really eat the flesh on anything you've been spraying with copper or using foliar sprays with your plastic container. This is a peach, juicy peach mango, and it has blooms on it, just starting. This tree had never flowered before, so I didn't have a path to get in here, and when I didn't have a path I wouldn't put inputs next to it, which is what that is. But I see it's starting to swell, and it's got flowers on it, so this is going to be its year. I see this mango is blooming right here, which is nice. Yes. These trees back here, I could never get the wheelbarrow through all this. That's the problem with this. You have to have paths. You really do, especially since I do everything from by hand. So I drag the wheelbarrow. I don't use the tractor. I hate the smell of diesel. We sold our tractor. So this, I see this mango is blooming too. Yep. Quite nice. Stuff does better when you put manure next to it, like these bananas. They just don't grow. I got some sugar cane in here. But if you add the daily manure next to them, stuff doubles in size. It's a better input than water. I did my ginger back here. It's taking shape. This is the farthest from my house, so it's the least populated. But I did do a lot of seeds in here, which are going to start showing eventually. Just they're not there yet. I don't see any mangoes popping up above the weeds. I don't see any achachiro popping up above the weeds. I don't see any cashews popping up above the weeds. I don't see any MB popping up above the weeds. But I know they're in here because I can see them sometimes if I look. Like here's a couple of cashews that are popping up. So I do know they're in here. And I'll just keep throwing seeds at it until I have a big garden back here of tropical fruit trees. I can't help myself. I love to plant and divide. I started dividing my bananas again, so now we're up to 350 banana trees that I've divided. So I planted a bunch of stuff in here, and I really don't see anything popping up. And I know if I put some manure back here that it would change everything, but we only get a certain amount, and I don't really like to use a lot, so I don't want any more cows. I only have room for the cows I have, and I like to experiment to see exactly what happens and how I can get fruit trees to grow better. And it is that the zebu manure does work. That's what does it. That pretty much solves all problems. This was heavily compacted because this was a horse pasture for 50 years, and they did not rotationally graze, and it was like severely compacted. But the soil is very good here now. This is an ice cream mango that I don't see it even beginning to start. But the soil was very good back here. Let me see if I can see what it looks like. Grab some soil. Because it was just white sand. And now look at it. It's aggregated soil. Pretty black. It's nice stuff. It feels good. It feels sticky. It's better than sand. I mean, that's what you get when you have a cover. You provide a cover on your soil like this that thankfully I didn't have to plant and I don't have to manage. This is a Valencia Pride Mango. This is a Valencia Pride Mango. Somebody recently from my Valencia Pride Mango video said that this is the best looking mango they've ever seen. Beautiful mangoes. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that this wasn't one of my, well, I like it, but I like the other mangoes better. And this particular mango, I let waste probably 200 fruit. Not 200, but probably 75 fruit. And you could see all the little trees growing underneath it. That's why I know that the mangoes are probably growing. In fact, I see a cashew right here. That's a cashew. And they're popping up. Give it time. It all takes time. So here's a big ice cream mango, and the creatures love ice cream mangoes. I can always tell a good mango because the creatures will move in it and they will strip a tree clean. It's got to be a possum. So I made the mistake of not picking all the fruit before it was completely ripe off this tree. And I came out here the next day and all the fruit was pretty much gone, eaten on the ground. They took the seeds away. So here's some cotton candy mangoes. Cotton candy mango. This is one that froze, I believe. This one did not freeze. This one froze. Maybe this one partially froze, but these are those mushrooms that the rabbits are eating. Florida is really an amazing spot, and this particular spot on the Indian River Lagoon is considered the most biodiverse spot in North America. And why they say that why they used to say that you could not grow organically here because of the soil not having nutrients, it was just insane to me. Yeah, it didn't have nutrients because you removed all of the native plants and started mowing it and spraying glyphosate on everything. And all the nutrients were in all the native plants and the biology that lived in the roots of those native plants. The bacteria and the fungi and the protozoa and the archaea and the nematodes and the E. coli. Those are all nutrients that we need. And when you remove the home where they reside, which is in all this diversity, all this plants, the plant roots, all the diverse plant roots that are in the ground, you remove their home, and so it creates a oxidized soil that is devoid of nutrients for your plants. And so then they start applying salt-based fertilizers, which further oxidizes the soil and removes even more carbon from the soil, which is the hardest thing to keep in the... This is a fruit punch mango. That's a sweet tart mango. This is a sweet tart mango. This so it's like, it was just this vicious cycle of mismanagement that has put Florida in the position it's in, where we can't even grow citrus, one of the easiest plants in the world to grow. I mean, can't we see what we've done? It's just, I don't know what it's going to take. It seems like people are catching on. So I do the chop and drop of the pepper trees. That's what this is. This is my daily manure. That's another sweet tart mango. This is a sweet tart mango that froze. And so I chop the pepper trees here and throw the branches here. Because, you know, I mix a little permaculture with a little syntropic agroforestry. This is a cotton candy mango. It's a buttercream mango. It's a buttercream mango. This is a lemon zest mango. That rabbit was eating these mushrooms. There's a cashew. I'll go up to this last sweet tart mango and wrap up the video. This is a sweet tart mango that's been a very good producer. Delicious fruit. Seems like each variety, like sweet tart or fruit punch, we have multiples of, and depending on the spot they're in, the flavor of the fruit is different. And there's just variations between varieties, between locations. So definitely how you manage your soils and how you manage your agricultural system can affect the flavor of your fruit, from between like industrial farming or a farm that uses pesticides or a farm that uses copper sprays, and a naturally growing system definitely produces better quality, better tasting, more nutrient dense food. Anyway, this is Eric at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and this is Florida Natural Farming. I hope you like, share, and subscribe, and have an excellent day. Thanks for watching.